Kanisa la Crusaders for Christ chini ya Apostle Ndura Waruinge iliyopo jijini Nairobi wanakukaribisha kwenye ibada mbalimbali. Siku ya Jumatatu ni siku ya maombi hapa kanisani kuanzia mida ya saa 3 asubuhi hadi saa 11 jioni, na siku ya Jumanne imetengwa kwa ajili ya kuonana na Apostle moja kwa moja kuanzia mida ya saa 3 asubuhi hadi saa 11 jioni, na siku ya Jumatano ni siku ya ibada ya ukombozi kuanzia saa 5 asubuhi hadi saa 9 mchana. Siku ya Alhamisi ni siku ya kuonana na Apostle moja kwa moja kuanzia mida ya saa 3 asubuhi hadi saa 11 jioni, na siku ya Ijumaa ni siku ya maombezi hapa kanisani kuanzia saa 3 asubuhi hadi saa 11 jioni. Siku ya Jumamosi kikundi cha ibada na sifa wanakutana kwa ajili ya maombi na maandalizi ya ibada za Jumapili. Siku ya Jumapili ibada ya kwanza inaanza saa 1 asubuhi hadi saa 2 kamili asubuhi, na ibada ya pili inaanza saa 2 kamili hadi saa 4 asubuhi, na ibada ya tatu inaanza saa 4 asubuhi hadi saa 7 unusu mchana. Kisha ibada ya ukombozi inaanza saa 9 mchana hadi saa 11 jioni. Vile vile unaweza fuatilia ibada zetu kupitia YouTube channel Bethel Clouds TV, vile vile kwenye ukurasa wetu wa Facebook The Synagogue. Kwa mawasiliano zaidi piga nambari ifuatayo 0722239555 au kwa lugha ya Kiingereza 0722239555. Kumbuka tunapatikana jijini Nairobi, Covey Plaza, Mezzanine Floor, mkabala na kituo cha mabasi cha Easy Coach, Elaislassia Avenue. Mungu akubariki unapojiandaa kuabudu nasi.
Basi keti hapo. Na sadaka, leta sadaka.
Nimekuja nayo ndio.
Hii hatuachangi.
Nimekuja nayo.
Acha ikae hapa kwanza. So you see now, not every man, it doesn't matter whether this man is handsome or not handsome or driving. Not every man is a man of your life. There is only one man where you are plucked from. Ask God, I want to go back home. The devil always wants to create a diversion. Ndio uache the real battle, we get into his battles that will cause you to miss the target. So tunaweza kuanza safari na huyu tunaenda, but along the way something will crop, tuanze kukosana na yeye, tuanze kurushiana maneno na yeye, then I will forget myself, tutaanza kujibishana. As tunajibishana, the real battle inafanyika kule. By the time wakimaliza, they come and remind you, do you remember you were going for a battle? Then kuangalia kule kumechomeka, they have won the battle. Bwana Yesu asifiwe sana. It is always good to keep off if you are in a situation, if you are planning to do something tomorrow, if you are planning to do something in your ministry, if you are planning to do something in your business, avoid anything that can divert you. Not even your mother, not even your father, not even your husband, not even your wife, not even your children. They will cause a diversion. And the moment a diversion has been caused, then what will happen? I will stop what I was doing. Ni kufanya nini? Nianze kuangalia. That's why normally you see, when I want to attack anything in the church here, I attack it before I start preaching. When I say sana, because I want to stop it, because it has been sent here. Sasa hii inigeiona wakati nahubiri nianze kuconcentrate, and then nilikuwa nishaanza the program. In the middle nikiconcentrate na hii, the program inapotea. Bwana Yesu asifiwe. Those are tactics of fighting this battle, and that's normally nakwambianga hapa ukuje ni kufundisha. Ile ya kupokea enda kwingine ufundishiwe huko, lakini kufundishe tactics za kutokuambiwa uende upokee. Ni kufundisha jinsi ya how to handle the problem. You may have a husband in the house who is a witch, who is a devil worshipper, who is an Illuminati. Do you need to run away from him? No. Do you need to walk out of that house? No. You may have a wife who is dangerous, mbaya, ni witch. Do you need to go? Yes, you can only go with the permission of heavens. But if God has not permitted you to go, it means you can handle the case. Because it could be a trial. It could be God has allowed you to get into that man because he wants to see how you can behave when he gives you a responsibility. You can come into my life today na tukue friendship. Kumbe Mungu anataka anione venye nitahandle mtu kama wewe. Labda wewe ni kichaa, wewe ni mwenda wasimu kivyako, wewe ni mtu ambaye anafanyanga vitu zako kivyako. Sasa Mungu ataniletea wewe, aniletee huyu, aniletee huyu, na aniletee huyu. Vichaa vitupu. That one I did it for 1 year tukiwa pule City Stadium. Every day I was provoked. Every day, because God was dealing with my heart, was dealing with my attitude. When God is dealing with something in you because he want to use you, that something atatumia barabara ya hiyo. Kama unafaa kuendesha gari ambayo inafaa kupitia kwa lami, atakushughulikia kwa lami. Kama ni barabara ya maram, atakushughulikia kwa nini? Kwa maram. If bitterness is your problem, he will deal you from the angle of bitterness. Do you know what? He will cause people to come and irritate you every day. And the most people that will come to irritate you ni wale watu unapenda, ni wale watu mnatembea na wao, ni mtoto wako, ni mama yako, ni mume wako, the close, the boss yako, ni junior wako, ndio watakuwa, they will cause. Wanakuja tu wanafanya kikitu mpaka unashindwa. So, when I went to bed, I saw being given to me, watu waliletwa na kiroli na kibasi kikubwa sana, wakamwagwa. Kuangalia hawa watu wote walikuwa na injury ya heart. So I knew immediately, this is a warfare. Bwana Yesu asifiwe sana. Whatever the kind of people wanakuja, ni watu ambao wameumia. Na watakuja kukuta nani? Watakuja kukuta kina Roda, watakuja kukuta kina Beatrice, watakuja kukuta kina Hawa na hao walifika kanisani, wakamiliki kanisa, na ikakuwa kanisa ni lao, alafu wakamiliki mchungaji, akakuwa ni toro dark and handsome, na mwanamke yote akikuja pale anapigwa vita. So nikajua this will be a warfare, ni vita ingine Mungu ameniletea. So what do? I went to the mountain to go and seek the clearance, to ask God, how will I handle this next step of my life you are giving me? How will I handle these people? How will I handle akina Roda kanisani and the new people who are coming?
And one of them, it is me.
Yes.
And I'm coming with a cigarette.
Yes.
With a kiberiti.
Niombewe
juu ya pombe.
Uombewe juu ya pombe. Yes.
Nikipata kazi. Sikai. Bibi yangu analia nyumbani. Situmi pesa. Nataka niombewe.
Kirudi kazi unapata.
Kazi mimi napata.
Na ni nini inafanyanga usirudi ukipata kazi?
Mimi naona tu shetani.
Keti basi hapo. Nitakuombea. Keti hapo nitakuombea. Leta sigara.
Nimekuja nayo na kiberiti.
Na kitu kingine uko na ingine?
Sina ingine.
Basi keti hapo.
Nimekuja nayo na sadaka tu.
Na sadaka, leta sadaka.
Nimekuja nayo ndio.
Hii hatuachangi.
Nimekuja nayo.
Acha ikae hapa kwanza. So you see now, I've just spoken of a diversion. You see, immediately, the diversion has come to divert me from the course. Kwanza nishughulike na nani? Niache kukuambia siri ya vile mambo hufanyika. So if you are not intelligent enough, utaona sasa huyu, maana kuna kamera na muko, this is an opportunity to showcase how God has blessed me. So I will first start fighting what? Na nikianza kuomba hapa, more drama will come. By the time I finish the word I wanted to teach, I will not teach. Bwana Yesu asifiwe sana. And that is the most important thing that you have to understand. Because kama saa hizi nilikuwa nasema nini? Before this, how I went to the mountain. Now that was supposed to be removed, because strategically there are people who are placed here to fight me from inside, and outside there are people strategically placed there to fight the process of God that is in me. Now when I went to seek God, I was trying to teach you how you need to handle your fight, how you need to handle your things. You don't handle them physically, you handle them spiritually. You fight your battles in the spiritual realm, because kabla hiyo shida uko nayo, unaiona uko nayo, ikuwe manifested in the physical, it had started long time ago. Maybe you are fighting a 20 years battle, Maybe you are fighting a 30 years battle. Maybe you are fighting a 25 years battle. How? When you are born, that is the battle started. Shida ambayo uko nayo haikuanza jana, ilianza wakati ulizaliwa. Na si wakati ulizaliwa, kabla. The Bible says, before you were born, I knew you. Before you were brought by your mother, ukaingia kwa dunia hii, nilikujua. Kwa hivyo, all the blessings that you were needed, they had been prepared before you were born. The same way, all the warfare weapons to fight you were there before you came on earth. So it is upon you, the people who will handle you, the people who will bring you on this earth, the people who will take care of you, are the people that will be able to be responsible to handle you, to guide you on how to do your battles since ukiwa mchanga. I was watching a video of the Chinese people. Watoto wao wanafundishwa kufanya crochet ili ya kushona when they are 1 or 2 years old. Watoto wao wanafundishwa kulima ama kufanya kitu when they was young as 6 years old. But we are not trained. We are supposed to learn when you are a young boy. It is what you are trying to learn. It will not come to you. So when you are get yourself into the battle you just don't go confrontational. You go say, God, this has come. How will I do it? Bwana Yesu asifiwe sana. When David came, alitoka kwenye vita kupigana na Wafilisti na alikuwa ameshinda. Vita vilikuwa vya Mungu, ni Mungu alikuwa amemtuma. Lakini kule walienda, wakapigana, wakashinda. When he came back, akapata mabibi zake wawili wamechukuliwa, watoto wamechukuliwa, buzi zimechukuliwa, kila kitu kimechukuliwa, and the entire army that had won battles walianza kulia. Why? Because they never configured the win ambayo walikuwa wameshinda. They never put into perspective that they had won, and the devil was trying to humiliate them, kuambia simulishida huko, hapa ni aje, nimewashughulikia. So they wanted to kuwaleta chini, kuvunja nyoyo zao. And that is what the devil has always wanted to do to you. You have won the battle, but along the way, unakuta the devil comes with another story. The story that you think, so God, I have been going to church every time. I've been tithing. I've been sacrificing. I have done everything. Why again this has happened to me? No, it is for you now to bring down your mind to soberness. David, when he saw it, he did not go crying with others. He went to the altar and asked for the ephod, ile nguo ya vazi ya maombi. Akaingia kwenye altar, akapiga magoti, akamuuliza Mungu, shall I follow them? Naye Mungu akamwambiaje? Yes, indeed, follow them, and you shall get what is yours plus what is theirs. That is how you win. You don't win by putting yourself, and somebody will come and tell you, wewe unakaa mchawi tu wewe. Kwa sababu the temper in you is hot. God is also watching. God allowed her to come and abuse you because God want to use you as a vessel of hope, as a vessel of transmitting, as a vessel of helping, as a vessel of blessing. Now you can never be a blessing kama wewe unakuwa mtu wa high tempers. You can never be a blessing if you don't sit down and wait for the next move of God. You can never be a blessing if people like this will come and you'll be accused of something you didn't do. And then God will be watching over you to see your reaction. So God will allow this man to come and accuse you falsely. You know you didn't do that. This was alikuwa witness. Mulishida na yeye, mkitembea na yeye. Nothing he's accusing you did. But this one will reside with you because God will allow her to lie against you again. Then you lose the mark. Because God was waiting for that. How will you respond to an accusation? Are you ready to handle hearts that are bleeding? Are you ready to handle the hardcore heads? Are you ready to handle people around you? So some of the challenges you are facing, they are not meant to destroy you. They are meant, you are in a class, a spiritual class. just to make you. I remember one day Beatrice here alikutana na the real faces of Crusaders for Christ. The real faces walikuja wakamwambia, wewe unajifanya intercessor. What kind of a pastor are you? Who chose you to be a pastor? Hii intercessor haiogosagwi na mtu ambaye si pastor. Sasa instead of this lady were going to pray, alianza kusema, hey, niye na goko dei wataguma goko. The battle here are bad. I didn't know this is how it is. She kept talking, and the more she kept talking, the more they bombarded her, the more they released missile. When I told her to shut up, they all moved, because they were just waiting for her. The spiritual realm of the devil, they were waiting for her to start now. We're cursing them, abusing them. You are here with a reason. You are here with a purpose. You are in that life you are with a purpose. And this purpose, it is tested. You must be tested. Lazima ushughulikiwe. If it is marriage, you must be tested for marriage. If it is business, you must be tested for business. If it is ministry, you must be tested for ministry. If it is whatever that you want to do, you must be tested. Today, I want us to look at how to let God fight your battles. These battles you see, some of these battles, they are orchestrated just because God wants to bless you. When you're about to get into the destiny of your call, what God has called you to do on earth, that is when they aggravate. That is when they come up strongly. That is when they come wanting to destroy you. And that's when your humility will be tested. That is when your controlling power will be tested. That is when your releasing power will be tested. That is how you will be tested. Like that's why most bishops, pastors, archbishops, apostles, we are tested with many things. Sometimes we are tested with money. Sometimes we are tested with ladies. Sometimes we are tested with anger. Sometimes we are tested with so many things. And sometimes you find me, I have been that test here in this church. Sometimes people will come with their huge money in my office and then seduce me with the money. Then I will refuse flatly. Then God is watching over me. How can money destroy me? How can money control me? How can money make me not do his will? Because God wants to give me a lot of money. God wants to bless me with billions of money. How will I handle 10 billion if 1,000 was able to remove me from his glory? And mostly, we have failed the test of heaven. We have failed the test of moving to the next level of your ministry because you failed to understand when God visited you. When God visits you, he will visit you through this young man. And if you look at the hair of this young man, and this young man comes to your compound, and you see the hair of him, and the way you know, ati mtu akiwa na nywele kama hii ni mwenda wa simu, how will you do? What will you do? You will cry, you will shout, you will call a neighbor, kwenda mogoroki goko gwakwa. Because the mentality in you, mtu akiwa hivi ni mogoroki. But this could be an angel sent to you to come and give you a word. But because you have a wrong mentality, and that is what God is looking at your heart. What kind of a heart do you have? When God tells you, you're going to become a prophet, how did you behave? When God tells you, I'm going to become a millionaire, how did you behave with the 10,000 he was given to you? With 100,000 that you received, you got from a friend who just gave you 100,000. How do you behave? Just 100,000. I can beat you and pay you. God is watching over you. That is how you behave. Huyu mupatie shilingi 1,000 tu huyu. Kijiji mzima hakuna mtu hatajua kuna pesa. Sina? Inajulikana. Bwana asifiwe sana. So it is very important. Ni vizuri kuona ni how is God testing you, and to understand how God is operating in you. First of all, you must know when to let God fight your battles. That is strategy number 1. Understand the battle. Know when and how to let God do your battle. Bwana Yesu asifiwe sana. Know when and how to let God do your battle. You must understand when. Is it time? Number 2, how? What is the strategic? How am I getting out and letting God in? Bwana Yesu asifiwe sana. God is not deaf. He hears our prayers. He hears what you need to do. He knows where you are supposed to be. He knows what you are supposed to do tomorrow and where you are supposed. But the problem we have is that we rush, we go faster than what God wants us to do. But there is one thing that God knows. His time is perfect. His season is perfect. God is a God of time and seasons. And God operates in time and season. In the book of Genesis, chapter number 1, what first God did, he created seasons and time. That is when he created day and he created night. He created stars and he created the sun. He created the moon and he created the darkness and the light. Why? These are meant to give us time and a season. When there is sun, we call it daytime. When there is moon, we call it nighttime. When there are stars, we call them nighttime. These were meant specifically. The principle of chapter 1 of Genesis, God created time and a season so he can be able to govern. You cannot be able to govern if you don't have time with you. You cannot be able to govern if there is no season with you. You must have a season of planting and a season of harvesting, a season of resting and a season of doing, a season of sleeping and a season of walking. So this must be there for man to be governed, for man to be seen. So you must understand when and at what time to give God the battle. You release yourself to God and you let God do. When I went on, now I called another lady somewhere and I asked how to do it. Then I spoke to these and they were not also getting it. They were not understanding how will this work. And the time is going. I knew the time of God is the perfect time. The season of God is the perfect season. So for me, I knew what she's crying, what she's trying to defend, it has already been okayed. The other side, it has already been taken over by God. But on this side, because she is working with God and also with the devil here, now she walked in a confused manner. That is how we lose our bearing. When you are walking, you are here, the devil is here, and I'm here, I'm here, and God is here. No, because of lack of decisive decision, what happens to you? You will stagger. You will be confused. And that is what has led us into wrong marriages, into wrong businesses, into wrong decisions. Because we never allowed God to take control. We never allowed God to be superior. We never allowed God to have his way. When you allow God to have his way, he stops you, he stops the Kenyanjui you, he stops the Rhoda you, and then he comes in and creates a new Rhoda, a spiritual Rhoda that is spiritually controlled. Because everything that manifests now, it came long time ago. Whatever you are seeing, the disease you are seeing in you, the challenges you are seeing in you, the divorce that you are seeing in you, the woman now you are working with, the man that you are working with, this man was created long ago by God for your sake. Oh, anything that is happening to you, it manifested in the spiritual realm long time ago. Whatever you are doing now, it is not for now. It is either 10 years old, 30 years old. If the devil, they knew you when you were born, 1980. When you were born, they knew you were carrying a star. 1980, also they were born a person who will come and torment you. Did you know that? If your marriage you got married in 1972, also by God created that marriage. Also in the demonic world, they created a man or a woman who will come and destroy your marriage. So it is all upon you to know and understand when is God operating. And this one can only happen if you know how and when to let God do your fight. And number 2, do not advance towards your enemies. If you want God to control you, if you want God to control anything that you are doing, do not let or do not allow yourself to advance, to be aggressive to your enemies. Don't go fighting them. Don't go challenging them. Don't go as though they have defeated you. But inside you, you know you have won the battle. Because you have a greater God, a powerful God, a God that wins battle against any other battle. So it is very important for you. Ni vizuri sana kuelewa hivyo ya kwamba do not advance. Usiende kupigana na hao. Ukisikia kuna kamtego, ukisikia kama sasa kwenye kampuni yako kuna mtu amekuja ameiba pesa zako, do not be aggressive immediately towards that person. Unasikia mtu amekamatwa amepelekwa ndani, do not be aggressive kukimbilia hicho kitu. Umesikia umepatiwa kitu kuna vitisho, do not be aggressive, withdraw fast. Bwana Yesu asifiwe sana. Withdraw fast. David hakupursue wale watu ambao walichukua mke wake ama bibi zake. Hakupursue wale walichukua watoto wake, walichukua ng'ombe na kila kitu. Instead alirudi kwa nyumba ya Mungu. Why? Because you need to understand what is the depth of the challenge. Unaweza, Wakristo wengi tumeshindwa vita, tumegogwa kwa sababu ya nini? We don't understand mahali unaruka. Hujui, umekuta ni makaratasi tu imetandikwa, kumbe ni shimo iliwekwa. Lakini kwa sababu unakuja na Yesu, unasema, I rebuke in the name of Jesus. Remaseterebo. Unaaguka ukisema remaseterebo zako huko ndani. Ukienda huko sasa, oh help! Jesus help! Jesus cannot help a fool. You need to strategize. You need to replan. Ukiona wamekuwa more aggressive than you, withdraw. Work from the angle of withdrawing. Work always to be weak, because God makes us strong because we are not strong. Jesus died on the cross to make humanity better and strong, because we cannot make it without him. Therefore, when we are strong, when we are weak, he is strong. In us we become better. Therefore you have to surrender. Mtu anaitwa Jehoshaphat akaambia wa Moabi wanakuja, wa nani wengine, wa Hiti wanakuja, wa Mereku wanakuja. They were more powerful, well strategic, well organized, 3 nations, well organized, and they had weapons than the children of Israel. When Jehoshaphat was told about the imminent attack, Jehoshaphat alistuka. Lakini alipostuka, what happened? He did not go to plan for an army aende wakapigane. What he did, he withdrew. Alirudi nyuma na akarudi kwenye madhabahu. Akaambia watu, let's go for 3 days of fasting. Do you fast when you are fighting? Do you fast when you are thinking? You don't even think. Because one thing, you surrender to God and you allow God now to take supreme, to be supreme over your life. Now you surrender to God. When you are fasting, you are surrendering to God. You give it all to God. You give everything to God. What happens now? When you give all to God, the Spirit of God starts working in you. Immediately as they were fasting, as they were doing preparation to meet God, to speak to God, and prophet of God, Jehaziel, was sent to go by God to go and speak to Jehoshaphat and the people there. And what happened? The prophet of God came and told Jehoshaphat, do not prepare an army. Do not prepare a fight. Prepare a team called praise and worship team. And then a general like Jehoshaphat would ask a question. We are being told Uganda is coming. We are being told Tanzania is coming. We are being told Ethiopia is coming. And you tell me to prepare a floor here to waanze kuiba, to praise and worship him. It makes no sense. But in the kingdom, it is the most sensible thing. When Paul and Silas were arrested, they agreed to be captured. They were taken to prison. They were locked in prison. They surrendered to the will of God. And immediately what they do? They turned the police cell into a praise and worship place, a holy place. Immediately God appeared to them. When you invoke the power of God, when you invoke the the authority of God in any situation, then he captures you. He takes control. He takes everything over to his hand, because God is a promise keeper, is a way maker. God is a God. They say is a jealousy God. God has never allowed himself to lose a game. So when you surrender to Jesus, if you surrender to God and hand yourself over to God, you will be putting God into a corner, a tight corner. He will be forced to fight for you. He will be forced to counter your enemies. He will be forced to make your enemies surrender, because God has never lost a battle. And for you not to do the wrong battle, you surrender to God, you give yourself to God, and you do everything. Just leave it to God. Hallelujah. Hallowed be thy name. You glorify the name of God. You lift him up high. You take him. When you take God where he belongs, he will do it for you. Hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. What does it mean? That when asking thy kingdom come, it means your kingdom come and take over. Come and overthrow the government that I am in now. When you are saying God, thy kingdom come, you are telling God, overthrow the kingdom that I am in now and replace it with your kingdom. We invoke God's kingdom to come into our life and overthrow, remove any form of a government that you are in. Once the government that you are in is removed, new structures from heaven will be created. New structures will be built up. New foundation will be created. New thinking will be created. New authority will be created. Meaning from now henceforth, it is not you, but God. The problem you are facing, is it from your mother's side? Is it from your father's side? Is it from your grandfather? Is it from the area you have come from? Is it from the people you are with? Is it from here? Because you can be here in this church and you are not supposed to be in this church. You still have encounters of challenges until you get out, like Jonah and then Nineveh. Until you get out, that is when you are going to see peace. There are people who are here. They are being fought by spirits they don't understand. Because of something you don't understand. Esther did her work. Esther did her homework to understand kule kuna Vashti, kule ndani kuna shida, already kuna shida. Shida ni gani? Vashti amekuwa mgumu, kichwa imekuwa gumu. She had already a spiritual understanding ya huko ndani. Before you want to be in the person you want, before you want to be a Waruinge, before you want to be a James, before you want to be a Mwangi, understand. Get to know what is the battles Waruinge has gone. I've been to prison 52 times. I have gunshot in my body, 12 of them. I've swallowed poison. Do not advance towards your enemies. Just do something that will make you understand God, understand this person, understand their environment, understand every move, not everything. They say not everything that glitters is gold. Don't go for that shortcut. Ask God, are you in this move? Because the devil is waiting at the corner. The devil is hanging around, waiting for you to make a small mistake. Then he will utilize the mistake as though the world never existed. Mtu anaitwa Ayubu alikuwa kwenye vita vikali, naye shetani alimwendea Mungu akamwambia, nikubalishe tu, huyu mtu anakufuata kwa sababu ya zile vitu umempatia. Now the devil, what he did, he went straight to who? To Job, and now tried to persuade, to make Job get out of God so that he can remove Job from trusting God. Then he took Jesus. Jesus was taken after 40 days and 40 nights of prayers and worship. He was taken for a test into the wilderness. And while he was taken for a test into the wilderness, the devil Lucifer himself came and told him, the man of God shall turn a stone into bread. Surely, if I was a pastor, will I not do it? For the glory of God? Lucifer came and told him that the man of God will turn the stone into bread. Turn it now, because you're a man of God. See, I will want to prove him. I am a man of God. Stone, turn into bread. And because he had the power, he could have done that. But he knew, whoever that is speaking to me is not my father. He is testing me so that I can take the glory to myself. So when you surrender the glory of God, number 3, surrender the glory, all the glory to God. Jesus knew this is a trick. This is a trick from who? From Lucifer himself. He wants me to take the glory. Then he told him that even if you fall, the angels will come and lift you. Surely a local pastor like Waruinge, and he hears that somebody is telling me that, I will do it. I will do it. I will fail the test because I want that glory to be seen. The day you surrender, the day you give it all to God and you tell God now, I don't want any glory, you return the glory to God so that glory can come to you from the hands of God. You will always win your battle. So the devil, what does he do? He wants you to concentrate on defending yourself. So he wanted Jesus, when he removes Jesus from the plan of God, from the intricacies of what God wants you to do, then you will begin from today to start defending yourself, start fighting for yourself. You forget worshiping God. Instead, you be defensive. You defend yourself from any external attack. The day you discover in your prayer you are defending yourself, you have been diverted by the devil. Bwana Yesu asifiwe sana. You should never, say never. You should never say so. Defend yourself. Let God do the defending. Let God do the fight for you. Always rely on the worship you have towards God. You worship God with spirit, body, and substance. Everything you do it as a worship. Whether you are in the middle of the fire, Meshach and Abednego, they didn't defend themselves. They went and they sat and they started glorifying God, and God came. The Silas and the Paul, they did not defend themselves. They went and they sat, worshipped God. When you don't get into a trap by the devil, God will come immediately. He does not send anybody. He comes in personally. So therefore, when you don't fail to surrender in totality, you start now fighting. You want to go to America. You start paying people money so that they can make way for you. You want to go to Doha. You want to go to Johannesburg. You start paying people to do it for you. That is now. You have removed God and it has become you. Surrender. Let God do the will. Let God do the walking. Let God do the planning. Everything will come within the timing of God. Everything that you need. If it is that husband, you will get that husband as per to the plan of God. If it is that wife, you will get that wife as per to the plan of God. If it's that ministry, you will get it as per to the plan of God. If it's that success that you need in your life, it will come as per to the plan of God. You will not sweat. God will locate you. God will position you. When you surrender and when you do his will, God positions you. Just pray for that positioning of God. Just pray for that location. You be located. And when God locates you, my friend, you will never fail. My friend, people will be giving you and they will be asking, where were you when I was in the hospital? Where were you when I was sleeping hungry? No, you are sleeping hungry because God wanted to detain you a bit, to prepare you for a stomach to have something to eat. See, some stagnations are not from the devil. Some limitations are not from the devil. Some confusions are not from the devil. Some of this comes from God. God will cause you to stagnate a bit because he wants to ground you. He wants to train you. He wants to plan you. He wants to execute his plan over you so that his glory can be seen through you. Ni mkono wa Bwana ulionibeba. It was not me. But when it was you, you won't even appreciate God. When it was you, you won't even recognize God. When it was you, you won't even say, people, this is God. This far we are, this is God. When we came to this place, we didn't have money. We didn't have people who can raise money to pay. There we were struggling with the house rent, 40,000. We were struggling. But we were being told by God, this is where I want to take you. When I sat down to calculate, I was in mountain praying, asking God, where do you want me to go? He's told me you are going to such a particular building. I came and saw the building. I asked for the rent. How much is it? I had it. I told them, give me the paper, write it in paper so that I can read it, because my ears is like they were not working well, so that I can read it properly. I went reading. I called some of the people. I told them, oh, this is dangerous. God is telling us to go there. And we have a letter here, a demand letter for 40,000. We have not been able to pay rent for 2 months. And now God is talking about this figure. When I went to the mountain, God told me the premises or the church you had at the city stadium was your church. Now I want you to operate in my church. So that is how God looks at you. When you are struggling alone, pushing things, he removes himself. And when he wants you now, him to come in, he will put you in a position where you will never say, this is my authority. It is not how you look that make me bless you. It is how your heart is to be blessed. So surrender this heart to God. God will bless you. God will open every door for you. God will open every successful ways for you. Can you give us 52 verse 12, Isaiah? For you shall not go out with haste, nor go by fight, for the Lord will go before you, and the God of Israel will be your rear guard. Do not, for you not go. Can we read together? For you shall not go out with haste, nor go by, for the Lord and will be your rear guard. The Bible is telling us now, surrender. You don't have anything that you can teach God. You don't have anything that you can say, this one I can give God. God is always there. For you shall not go with haste. So he's telling you, compose yourself. Safari hii hamutatoka kwa haraka, wala hamutaondoka bio bio, maana Mwenyezi Mungu atawatangulieni. Mungu wa Israeli atawalinda kutoka nyuma. Atawatangulia na kutoka nyuma atakuwa. Kwa hivyo mtakuwa katikati. Bwana Yesu asifiwe sana. Mimi anakwambia usiwe mtu wa kufadhaika wala kuogopa. Usiwe na wasiwasi. God is with you. Don't do things in a haste, because God is already with you. He will be ahead of you. He will be behind you. So you are well taken care of. If there is this thing you are trying to push, stop it. If it's a business you want to start, go and do your vision. Andika kioneki kiaku na demo nene. Write your vision with big letters. Then once you've written, go sit down. Wait for him to come. If you want to get married, just tell God, return me. If you're a woman, return me where I came from. Not every man. It doesn't matter whether this man is handsome or not handsome or driving. Not every man is a man of your life. There is only one man where you are plucked from. Ask God, I want to go back home. Don't go for a husband. There is no husband. There is no wife. Don't go. Don't pray for a wife or a husband. Pray for that rib where you came out from. Mistake we make when defending ourselves, the mistakes that we make when we defend ourselves, we fail to build our inner selves. When you defend yourself, you fail to build your inner self, because now you become not natural, you become fake. Do not defend yourself. Allow God to pass through the process. When you start defending yourself, a church like this one, we start defending, we start faking people, we start faking things, God will move away. Meaning, we will build a foundation on a fake platform. The day the fake platform will be removed, you will all crumble down. So allow God to pass you the processes. When you go through the processes of life, you will not fail in anything, and the foundation will be laid properly because you have gone through every inch of a process. So kubali tu, kaa chini utengenezwe. By being in the right battle, you will walk into enemy's camp and take back what is rightly yours. That is how David did. That he went into the enemy's camp and won the battle. That is how Jehoshaphat did. That they went, these people bought wa Moabi na Wahiti, walipigana wakauana wote, the three nations, they killed each other. To the last man, Jehoshaphat was just told by God, go and pick. Enda uokote magold na masilver. For 3 days waliokota na wengine wakaziacha. Why? Because they did the right battles. Doing the right battles is surrendering and allowing God to do the battle for you. God will create a position for you that you will be able to go and do and correct. Just wins. When you intercede for unsaved families, you let God do your battle. When you concentrate on God's will, the will of God comes back into your house, protects you and defends you. So do not be selfish when you are doing intercessions. Do not be selfish when you are praying. Do not be selfish when you are doing anything. Do it for God. Do not do it for man. Do not do it for yourself. Do not do it for community. Do it as though you are doing it for God. And God will automatically come behind you and solve the problems in your house. So it is all systems go because God will take the step and control. Just step back, let God go before you.